Welcome to this video showing how to link EnGenius Access Points without cables. These are the two EnGenius Access Points I used in this video. I named them AP1 and AP2 respectively. I then used a computer connected to each device using an Ethernet cable. On your Windows computer, set up a static IP address as above. Then you open any browser and access the management page with the IP address 192.168.1.1. The default username and password are both admin. First of all, I named this access point AP1. Next you set the country or region. Once completed, you apply the changes. Before establishing the connection between the two access points, I set up the wireless network on AP1. In this case, I create a connection between two access points on the 5G band, so I create a wireless network on the 2.4G band. You can create a connection on the 2.4G band if you want, but I want to use the 5G band to optimize bandwidth. I recommend that you use the 2.4G band to create a connection when the distance between them is long or there are obstacles. 5G band is only suitable when the distance is short and there are few obstacles. But the 2.4G band has lower bandwidth than the 5G band. After completing the wireless network setup, I went to the advanced wireless setup. You set up a fixed channel on the band used to create the connection. In this case, I set up channel 161 on the 5G band. Additionally, you can set a fixed transmit power parameter. Please note that these parameters are set the same on both access points. On the AP2 access point, I set the same parameters as above. Next, I set up the MAC address. On AP1 access point, I set AP2's MAC address and vice versa. As you can see, it is possible to create links with multiple access points if desired. But when you create links with multiple access points at the same time, it will affect bandwidth. Therefore, I do not recommend using this method if you want to connect multiple access points. If you want to connect multiple access points, you should use mesh networking. Above are the settings on AP1. Next, I connect the computer to AP2. Make sure your computer is set up with a static IP address and connected to AP2 using an Ethernet cable. You will see that the settings on AP2 are almost identical to AP1. On AP2, I name and set the country or region. After applying the changes, I set up a fixed channel on the 5G band. I have set up channel 161 on AP1, so on AP2 I also set up channel 161 on the 5G band. This connection method requires two access points to be set up on the same channel on the same frequency band. Additionally, they have the same transmit power parameter. I set up the power transfer on AP2 the same as on AP1. The parameter settings on AP2 are the same as on AP1. I then set up the wireless network on the 2.4G band. I do not create a wireless network on the 5G band because it is used to create a connection between two access points. You can create different wireless networks on two access points. In this case, I create the same wireless network on AP1 and AP2 so that the access devices can connect more easily. You set up WDS mode on the 5G band to create a link between access points. On AP2, you set the MAC address of AP1. You set up a different MAC address on each access point. You can create a password on the link between the two access points if you want. In this case, I do not set up security on the link between AP1 and AP2. I disabled the Wireless Network Manager. You can use it if you want. Wireless network management does not affect the link between access points. You ensure that the wireless settings on the 5G band are correct and the same on both devices. Then don't forget to apply the changes. And here is the cable connection of AP1 and AP2. AP1 connects to the router using an Ethernet cable. AP2 connects to AP1 without using a cable, so it does not have an Ethernet cable connection. AP1 and AP2 connect to each other on the 5G band. With this method, you can expand coverage without cables. Very suitable when you want to create a point-to-point connection. Above is how to create a link between EnGenius Access Points. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. EnGenius Access devices and access points are assigned IP addresses from the DHCP server on the router. So I used a scanning software to find the IP addresses of AP1 and AP2. I visit each access point to check the connection status of each device. As you can see, AP2 access point is linked to AP1 without a cable. I used a computer with a cable connection to the AP2 access point and tested the network speed. Above are the results of my internet speed test using a wireless link between two devices. Good luck.